much gas do you think DeAndre still has in the tank?
That's the question.
I think he has some. Last year he had
impact the game.
Last year he had a 1,000-yard receiving
Like
campaign.
quarter tank?
A little more than a quarter.
I think you can give him what Juju gave him that year they beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think
And that's another thing. Juju's out too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all they need him to be.
Yeah.
And he's as good as Juju.
Just a little bit more attention and free up those other receivers who are not that good, and I don't know why they have them still, but to free them up. Other than Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce,
Yeah, and right now Worthy's just a one trick pony.
Yeah.
And this is another thing too. You know, I know the Chiefs are my team, and I'm always gonna be pro Mahomes, but Mahomes is having what they're considering a bad season. So a lot of people talk about it: 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they're talking about all these other quarterbacks are just better this year and this and that. But I fight back on that. That these other quarterbacks are having, are better this season.
I think this is a little long overdue, though.
To get a target in there, man.
What is long overdue for a team that continues to win championships? How is this long overdue?
Nah, this is. I mean, if you watch football, you've been waiting for him to link up with a really good receiver since
Tyreek.
That's like saying Kevin Durant joining the Warriors is long overdue.
No, that's different. That's different. Cause
I felt that way.
For Kevin Durant to win a championship, for sure.
Well, speaking of, though, we just mentioned him. Is Marquise Brown expected back at all?
He is. It's a long-term injury. He is expected back, but like on the back end of the season. Rice is. They haven't called him out for the rest of the season, but again, you're talking about playoffs return. Yeah. Hartman is out for a week or two. He's week to week, but he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks.
Kadarius Toney feels like he's out all the time.
Who's that?
Kadarius Toney.
No, Tony's been gone.
He feels like he's out. Though.
No, he's cut.
No, they cut.
He's officially cut now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. You're about 2 or 3 months late.
I am.
He didn't make it. He didn't make it out of camp.
Yeah.
God.
But he wasn't. I mean, he was wilding out all the time.
How much gas do you think DeAndre still has in the tank?
That's the question.
I think he has some. Last year he had
impact the game.
Last year he had a 1,000-yard receiving campaign.
Quarter tank?
A little more than a quarter.
I think you can give him what Juju gave him that year they beat the Eagles.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Juju's out too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all they need him to be.
Yeah.
And he's as good as Juju.
Just a little bit more attention and free up those other receivers who are not that good, and I don't know why they have them still, but to free them up. Other than Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce,
Yeah, and right now Worthy's just a one trick pony.
Yeah.
And this is another thing too. You know, I know the Chiefs are my team, and I'm always gonna be pro Mahomes, but Mahomes is having what they're considering a bad season. So a lot of people talk about it: 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they're talking about all these other quarterbacks are just better this year and this and that. But I fight back on that. That these other quarterbacks are having, are better this season, because when you take into account, the weapons not being that great this year, not good at all. Last year they weren't either, and he still won the Super Bowl. But offensive line, we got a rookie left tackle. Left tackle is the most important position probably in football.
Best offensive line coaches, though. Like your offensive line's
the
always
coaching
on
staff is elite. Period.
Yeah,
we got one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, Andy Reid, and then the offensive line coach. But still, is the rookie left tackle. He's struggling. You know what I mean? But with all of that and the numbers that Mahomes has, but guess what? In the fourth quarter, he has the best fourth quarter QBR. Okay, he's the only quarterback in the MVP race, okay, that has not thrown an interception in the fourth quarter. But at the same time, he has 8 interceptions on the season. Like when it's winning time, when it's closing time, there is no one better than Mahomes. And the numbers show it. It's not just the eye test. Yeah. The numbers show it as well. And to me, that's why he's still even the best quarterback in this particular season, not just overall. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. I mean, he has an ability to conjure up great performance on command. It does beg the question, like, why can't he play with a bit more efficiency during the other part of the game? Yeah. But, like, again, great players know when to be great, and he's a perfect example of it. It reminds me of the Kobe Shumpert story, where Shumpert was playing with the Knicks. Kobe was obviously the Lakers. And Shumpert was young in the league. He actually got a couple steals off Kobe or whatever. And then they start the fourth quarter. Kobe comes off the bench and just looks at him and goes, "Hey, you've had a good game." and then takes over.
Yeah, I know that story. Good game, Rook.
Yeah. And he's like, what? There's still a quarter left. Like, what are we talking about?
So the real game begins. Yeah, I will say that because, like I said, I watch football heavy. And when I watch their games, again, I haven't been able to watch their games because they've been all their games this season have been like really ugly dogfights.
Yeah.
And that's what the team they've become. And I think that's their identity. And a lot of people run from that. They don't have like stars. I think the only star they really have is their quarterback and the guy that's dating that girl, Taylor Swift. But other than that, like when it comes to stars, yeah, because tight end
Chris Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones is another
monster.
He's a star. I mean, he's as good a defensive lineman as there is.
And we probably have the best cornerback in the league, top 3 at least.
Yeah.
I was gonna give them their flowers. Like the fact that they haven't lost since last Christmas, the fact that they're doing this while being shitty. Like
they're
being
not
good.
being shitty though. That's the thing. Like when I've watched every Chiefs game this year. Like that defense just continues to respond in big moments.
Yeah.
Like when Pat throws the pick, it's like they almost immediately respond with a stop or preserving a field goal. It's like there's a joy in watching a team play that way.
Yeah.
And when you watch a lot of other teams and they're just kind of all over the place. They're good one minute, bad the next. But the Chiefs know exactly who they are. They play to their character every fucking week, and it's a beauty to watch. It's absolutely beautiful football.
It really is, man. And and there's been only one team this year that has held Derrick Henry to under 50 yards rushing. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they're the number 1 rush defense in the league. You can't run on them. And that's, and I know a lot of people, the trending pick is to pick Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people are running the Hard Rock, future NFL championship, and they're putting a lot of money on the Ravens. But I just, and they do look better than even they did in the beginning of the season. I understand it's a different team, but beware, man, because they're a rushing team, and that's the strength of the Kansas City's defense is the rush defense. Okay, so good luck betting against Mahomes, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, their pass defense isn't bad either.
No, like I said, they have the top 3 corner in the league. I think it's the best, but definitely not past top 3.
But their ability to blitz and get guys running free is phenomenal.
It is.
They do it every week. They get guys running free on blitzes a couple times a game, and usually in big moments.
Yeah. So there was basically Tua is coming back here, and Tyreek, man, if you play fantasy football, which I got Tyreek in 2 leagues, you basically had to bench him for the past 3 weeks or so. He just the last game, he had 0 targets and catches. That's nuts. Him and Waddle, or they combined for 3 targets together for 0 catches. That's nuts in the whole game. Healthy. All right, so Tua's coming back, and Tyreek says, "We're back, baby. Strike up the effing band. Start me this week in fantasy."
Yeah.
My boy.
Your boy tripping.
That's funny.
It's 0 targets?
Huh?
0?
0 catches. I think
Okay.
him and Waddle combined for a couple of targets, and but 0 catches.
Yeah, their quarterback is, I think, Huntley, right? Huntley's their
Yeah,
quarterback.
man.
Yeah, no. It's a running back.
Black quarterback says taking a step back.
Man. Nah, Lamar Jackson was doing his thing.
Actually, or you just joking?
What?
Like you said, it's a running back.
No, he'd be a better running back than a quarterback.
I thought they actually put a running back.
Huntley would be a better running back than quarterback.
Yeah, it'd just be better in the Canadian league.
Not in NFL.
XFL.
Yeah, the XFL.
That's maybe
in a flag league.
Maybe so. Hey,
man.
Yeah, those guys are ready to challenge the NFL. They can use his.
Put Huntley out front.
Real quick. Do you guys think the art of the backup quarterback has been lost in NFL?
Where was there ever art?
There was an art to the backup quarterback.
Holding
There was a decent
clipboard.
No, there was some quarterbacks that were decent.
Some teams
Like
do
who?
invest.
Yeah.
Some teams do
But
invest.
who are the decent backups?
I think Carson Wentz is a decent backup.
Yeah, for sure. They run a wildcat with him sometimes too, as well.
Yeah. He gets in.
Isn't Flacco still playing backup?
Flacco is a valuable
Flacco's a
backup.
Flacco should be
Great.
starting.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, not bad.
Do you remember? I know we're on the Dolphins, but do you remember? I'm a Gator fan. Do you remember when Anthony Richardson was drafted? Do you remember I said what are you doing drafting him this high?
They thought they had
and YouTube comments was crazy. Oh, his athleticism and his potential, and I said He's not ready. He's nowhere near ready to be an NFL quarterback.
Nope.
But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't
No,
know.
I mean, there's always been a few, and there will always continue to be a few. I mean, like Flacco's an ideal example. I think Jameis is a competent backup at
Mason
this point
Rudolph
in his life.
playing pretty good.
Mason Rudolph's okay.
Andy Dalton.
Well, whether you want to consider Russell Wilson or Fields the backup at this point, that you've got options. I mean, I don't think there's any particular art to the backup. I think that NFL quarterback is probably the most difficult
For sure.
position to play in any sport in the world as an individual position and role, and there's just simply not enough people on the planet that can play that position. And that extends to starters. There's not 32 people on the earth right now that can function at an acceptable level at that spot.
Yeah, you got 11 things to worry about, not including yourself. So, for sure.
And that's it. And then, again, when you suck at that spot, it affects everything. I mean, Tyreek Hill has wasted half a season, essentially, of his, kind of later prime years here.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
And Waddle's a guy that, he's made some plays, but
he should be way
on
better.
the whole, he's not evolving in a great way. And none of the things happening with Tua are helping that any further.
Right.
I mean, his career is just kind of muddling away in a bad situation. So, for receivers, you got to pay attention to where the hell you go and who you're playing with.
For sure. That's why Lamar can't get anybody to go over there to Baltimore. Exactly that. That offense.
Yeah.
You can't be a good receiver in that offense.
Yeah, I mean they have a good one now. He has plenty of weapons now, man.
Yeah.
So there's no
Bateman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
Flowers.
weapons, but there's just a way that they play football that doesn't really highlight the
Appeal.
individual receiver.
Yeah.
the number one receiver. He gets numbers and does well. And he's a top 10 receiver in the league.
Was that?
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
10?
Yeah,
I don't know.
production wise,
Okay,
this season,
production-wise.
not over the course of his career. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about this season, this year. He's been balling out, and it's been conducive to that. But and Lamar, this is Lamar's best passing season so far.
sure, yeah.
He's at in the league as well. But yeah, over time, I 100% agree with you guys. He couldn't get a receiver over there. One guy left for less money. So yeah,
Brown.
Yeah, Brown. He
Because
left for
they,
less money.
at the end of the day, since Lamar's been there, they've always run the football well with Lamar and even with a committee of backs. Now with Derrick Henry, they're running it, great with a great running back.
Yeah.
And Lamar has always had a propensity to throw to tight ends.
Yeah.
Whether it was Mark Andrews or last year when Andrews was unavailable, he likely
now, yeah.
was very productive. It's just he's just not a guy that really vibes with a number one receiver like that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of is what it is. We have enough data and enough evidence to say this is what he is.
Yeah.
He's still a great player, and they're still, for the large part, a winning team.
Yeah.
So you can't be too critical of what they do.
For sure.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. That's for sure.